I pre-ordered the Nikon Z6 Mark III and I cannot wait to receive it. But if you have the Nikon Z6 II, is it really worth the upgrade to the Z6 Mark III? Hello everyone and welcome back to another video on my channel. I'm PhotoRabs. I make videos about photography, filmmaking, camera tech related reviews, unboxings, action cams, vlogging kits and so on. If you are interested in these topics, I highly appreciate if you go subscribe to my channel. That's a massive help. And as I said in the intro of this video, I'm going to talk about the Nikon Z6III, this camera that was the most awaited camera for Nikon users. As to myself, I can speak on my behalf, but I think that most of Nikon users were waiting this camera to be released, the Nikon Z6 Mark III. It was released a few days ago. I placed my pre-order directly and I'm waiting to receive it maybe next week, I hope so. This camera in Europe cost about 3,000 euros, so about 1.5 times the price of the Nikon Z6 II when it was released. So is it really worth the upgrade from the Nikon Z6 II to the Nikon Z6 III? So in this video I'm going to tell you why I bought this Nikon Z6 III and why you should not buy it probably. To be honest, I watched all the videos that they were made about this Nikon Z6 III and all the sponsored videos, the spec sheets and so on. And I think that this camera checked almost all of the boxes that I want in a hybrid camera and all of the things that I wanted and I talked about in a previous video about my wish list for this Nikon Z6 III. On this camera we have a low megapixel count sensor just like the Nikon Z6 II at 24 megapixels, which is amazing for low light capabilities and low light performances, and I'm really happy with this. I don't want nor the 35 megapixels or the 47 megapixels. A 24 megapixel is more than enough for me, and add to that now we have the dual ISO, the native dual ISO setup. So we have native ISO at 800 and at 6400, and that will make this camera a beast in low light conditions. On this new camera we have a full HDMI port, which is something that I really need on a hybrid camera. We have a flip out screen, which is also something that I need personally in my workflow. We have also a fast and accurate focus, especially in video mode, which is something that was missing on the Nikon Z6 II. The partially stacked sensor on this Nikon Z6 III allows it to have a minimum to no rolling shutter effect, which is amazing these days, especially that we are using the camera not only for photography but also for videography as well. And now we can shoot in NRAW 12-bit internally without the need of an external recorder. Previously on the Z6 II we were able to shoot internally in 8-bit only, so now we have much more colors in our videos. And we can also shoot now in 4K 120 frames per second at a crop, of course, but we can shoot in 4K 60 without any crop in full frame, and that's something that I was personally hoping to have in this new camera. For me, these are the most important and selling features for the Nikon Z6 III, and that's why I placed my order immediately. And as I said before, I cannot wait to receive it, to have it in my hands, to play with it, to discover it myself. And I really believe that this camera will help me a lot in my workflow, because I'm a portrait photographer, but I also do lots of weddings and events. And when we talk weddings and events, that means that we are shooting in low light conditions, in extreme low light conditions, and I need a camera that I can rely on, whether for photography and videography. Of course, I could have changed the body to another brand, but I have lots of Nikon lenses and I love the Nikon quality, the Nikon colors, and so on. That's why I was really hoping to have a great Nikon Z6 III, and apparently we have something that I can rely on in my workflow. On another note, the Nikon Z6 II is a great camera. That's why I have two Nikon Z6 IIs. They are sitting just behind me in this video, and I really love this camera. They served me really well. I use them in weddings, in events, in low light conditions, for portrait photo shoots and so on. I really love the image quality. I really love the files, the file size of this camera. I really love the colors. I love the autofocus, even though it's not the fastest in the market, but for photography I think it's more than enough. And the main problem of this camera were related to video mode. The autofocus in video mode was not perfect. the 4K 60, the 8-bit. We couldn't shoot in 10-bit on the Nikon Z6 II unless we have an external recorder. So these were for me the main issues for this camera. And now the Nikon Z6 III was released 4 years after the launch of the Z6 II, and I think that this new camera checked almost all of the boxes that I want in a hybrid camera from Nikon, except only one box. This might not be very important to you, but for me this is something that I really need on a hybrid camera, especially after I tried the Nikon Z8, which is the shutter curtain protection for the sensor, and unfortunately we don't have it on this Nikon Z6 III. Next week probably I will receive the Nikon Z6 III, and I will not use it as a main camera for my YouTube setup because this camera, the Nikon Z6 III, is overrated for this kind of setups, for this kind of videos. But I might use it maybe for 1 or 2 videos just to try it, to have my hands on, to understand how it works, and to compare it to the Nikon Z6 II, but it's not gonna be my main camera for my YouTube videos. So basically I bought this camera for its video capabilities much more than its photo capabilities, but in the same time I would like to compare it to the Nikon Z6 II in portrait mode, so I bought another Meiki 85mm 1.4, so now I have 2 of them. I can have one on the Z6 II and one on the Z6 Mark III, and I can make a fair comparison in portrait mode for these 2 cameras. If you are interested, ring the bell so you don't miss the video when it will come out on my channel. A quick disclaimer, this video is not sponsored by Nikon and it's not sponsored by Meiki, but if you'd like to support my channel, you can buy your stuff via my affiliate links down below. That helps my channel a lot at no extra cost for you. In speaking of prices and costs, and if you are on a budget and you would like to have a full frame Nikon Z mount system, now it's the perfect time to grab a brand new Nikon Z6 II at a cheap price, or even you can get a cheaper deal if you get a used Nikon Z6 II, because now the market will be flooded with Nikon Z6 IIs, used Nikon Z6 IIs, because lots of professionals, lots of people will upgrade to the Nikon Z6 Mark III. And add to that, the Nikon Z6 II will receive lots of updates in the upcoming weeks and months, and that will make the software and the firmware of the camera even better than before. It's not gonna be a Nikon Z6 III, of course, because we don't have the same processor, we don't have the same electronic board inside, but that will improve a lot the Nikon Z6 II. So if you are not a video shooter, if you would like just a camera to make some photos and to make amazing photos, the Nikon Z6 II is the camera to go with. That's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If so, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, to like this video. That helps me a lot with the YouTube algorithm. Check my affiliate links down below. If you buy via my affiliate links, you don't pay extra money, but you help my channel a lot. And thank you for watching. Ciao for now.